Are you ready for the heavyweight championship of the world? Are you ready?
All right, and we're back. Another episode. And in his corner, my name is Bill.
And my name is Barry.
All right, I want a good, clean fight. Let's get it on.
Welcome to And in His Corner, where we settle the score once and for all on who's the best. That includes best music, best shows, best TV, best movies, best anything you could think of. So this week, what we talking about, Bill?
Man, we got some spiciness going on. So we got JD called out Puff. He wants Puff. And they all got on live with Snoop, Fat Joe, Puff, and JD. They were all on live, and basically Puff kind of tried the little boy JD, man. It got a little spicy out there.
He's not the only one with that attitude. There's somebody else that made some shout outs online as well. Who else?
Oh man, we had Dru Hill, the great, iconic Dru Hill called out any and everybody. They shot shots at everybody.
And then the last one is basically social media calling out MJ, RIP, but they compared him to.
They compared Drake to MJ.
There we go. Yeah,
Drake to MJ.
So does it make sense? Yeah, does it make sense? Oh, we'll get into it. So
we'll get into it.
Yeah, first up, really JD. So the order is JD calls out Puff. Puff says he wants Dre. We're here to talk about what makes sense, what doesn't. This isn't the first time we've had this discussion. I know when it came to Puff and Dre, I actually agree with Puff. I think historically, the thing that makes the most sense would be Dre and Puff, even though their catalogs don't match up well because of R&B.
Yep.
But JD and Puff, if you're talking about matching catalogs, I feel like that's not necessarily a versus I want to see, only because there's not a lot of synergy there. It's going to be R&B. What happens when you Let It Burn goes up against A Story to Tell, right? It's just like, can any one of those lose? Is it a tie? I don't know. So what do you think?
All right. So we've discussed this in depth many times. We've discussed who can go up with who. And I personally believe Puff and JD is too lopsided.
Yeah.
If they're playing R&B only, great matchup, head to head, you can't say who will win. And you might can lean towards JD.
I would. I'm not sure. I would have to see. Actually, I would. But I don't even want to do that because the point of a versus is you're supposed to reward all of their work, and I don't think you shouldn't tie a hand behind the back.
No, you shouldn't.
And I told you JD is kind of like the Tony Braxton of producers, to where he's in a sweet spot where he can't trade up because it'll be kind of an unfair matchup if he starts going up against some of those Dre's and Puffs of the world. But he also can't trade down because if he starts going up against some producers underneath him, it'll be a landslide in favor of him. So there's really not an ideal matchup. For me, what I look for when it comes to versus battles, I look for storylines, common denominators. So with JD and Puff now have a storyline because JD calls out Puff. Yeah, so now you have that, and I think that would be good for TV. But ultimately, East Coast, West Coast is box office.
It's history.
Biggie versus
it's
Death Row versus Bad Boys. I think a lot of people will want to see that. And to me, their catalogs don't match up well.
Nope.
But
nope.
And their caliber of artists do. So for every Biggie Puff has,
you got
Dre
Snoop,
has an Eminem.
Yeah, you got Eminem. Matter of fact, Dre has more. Dre has more.
That's what I'm getting to. And for every The Locks, Dre has an NWA. So I feel like you can't sun him on the strength of
the rap side. No.
Yeah, like basically, if you're from the West Coast and you were out in the 80s, late 80s, 90s, or early 2000s, more than likely Dre produced some of your records. So I think that's the best matchup possible. only because the storyline is box office. It's just
yeah.
Now
but it's kind of like, you know what it is? It's like Brandy and Monica.
It is. It just
it's history. But
now,
the problem I have with that though, Barry, is once Puff goes into an R&B bag, you know, Dre has a few,
just be about it.
Upbeat. He has some upbeat R&B songs, but when it's time to play some ballads, slow songs, like, you know, that I need this on a tape type, you know, a playlist. He doesn't have any of that.
Yeah, and
zero.
What would you say would be the most lopsided? Not lopsided as in victory, as in the playlists don't match up versus that you've seen so far.
The most lopsided?
Not in terms of competition, in terms of the catalogs just don't mirror each other. You got this person's playing rap, this person's playing, I don't know, Miami bass or something like that. I can't think of something, so I would like to. I
think they matched everybody up. I'm trying to go as far back as I can. And I think everybody matched up. They matched everybody up perfectly.
Yeah. So
even the Preem and RZA
early on. So
you know they still were good.
And that's the point that I'm trying to get to. Versus they've been strategic on making sure that the matchups make sense. And I think the fact that Puff is calling out Dre, I already think that some of that stuff is in the works. I just really think he's promoting a fight that's already, him and Dre already signed on a dotted line. It's just a matter of time.
Maybe. Snoop said that Dre said he's definitely not doing it.
But that's what everybody says until they do it. Right now, it doesn't make sense because he's going through the whole divorce thing. So I never saw him coming out this soon. Like he just got ordered to pay his soon-to-be ex-wife like 1.5 million, and this month. So not just 1.5 million this month for her legal fees. So now's not the time to be spinning records, I think. But who knows?
But you're making money though. You're also making money from this.
I don't know if he's hurting for money like that. I
just
not
think hurting money, but you know,
I just think it's a stressful thing for him right now. He just had like a brain aneurysm or something like that. So I don't know if he's coming out the woodworks anytime soon.
Yeah.
But that, all right, we agree, kind of makes sense. Now with JD, I've mentioned in the past, I feel like storyline wise, him and Dallas Austin, they're friends. They went through a beef. They produce similar artists. So it's like, to me, I'm like, okay, there's enough storyline there where it would be all in fun. And I'm like, okay, I could see that happening. I think Dallas Austin is the only person that could probably match up with JD, not necessarily catalog wise, but I'm like, okay, it's enough to where it would be okay for TV. Atlanta would be get some recognition. And I think that's the only person you compare.
So if you want to do Atlanta wise, yes. But also Dallas doesn't have rap. So JD can go into a rap bag. He can play Bone Crusher. He can play Welcome to Atlanta. He can play the song he got with Jay-Z, Money Ain't a Thing. So he does have, Let Me Hold You, Bow Wow. Like he has rap songs that are iconic in our, in hip hop. And Dallas doesn't have that.
Here's the thing though, like there is a sound.
One of them things.
There is a sound when I hear JD's different. When you hear JD music, to me, it's just that's Atlanta. It's just an Atlanta sound. I'm not necessarily fighting over if it's rap, if it's R&B at that point. It's just Atlanta. That's the only reason why I said Dallas Austin would match up with him well, because now all I'm hearing is like Atlanta influence, right? And then anybody you pair up JD with, we already agreed, he just doesn't match up well with anyone else. Either he's going to have to go up against somebody that's straight R&B or somebody that's straight rap. I would say because of that New Jack. Yeah,
and that's not going to be good.
Yeah, so to me, this is like the best storyline you could give him. I'm like, yeah, it probably makes more sense.
He probably could have went up against like a Missy or went up against a Timbaland, because Timbaland has both.
Timbaland not gonna do that though. Timbaland
is already. I'm just throwing out names who he could have, because Timbaland Timbaland literally has both R&B and he has both.
Timbaland would be the best matchup. Unfortunately, he's already went twice.
Yep.
And he's not going to do that. But if I just automatically took his name off the table.
Yeah.
So, but
now JD did say something that was very clever. Very clever. He said, I am one of the 4 from this group who is in the Writers Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame. Yeah, I said rock and roll.
The Writers Hall of Fame.
It's him, Missy,
Jay-Z, and Dallas
Jay-Z. Okay, Dallas was the 4th one. I forgot. See, that's also Missy or Dallas. Missy would probably have a more, I don't know. Like, I still think Dallas.
I mean, Missy can give you rap because she has all her stuff and all stuff. And now the thing that he also said,
Dallas could close the gap with some of the artists that he worked with. Like, if this person plays a Mariah Carey, that's nice. I'll play a Pink record. If this person plays Criss Cross record, that's nice. I'll play an ABC record. If this person plays, you got Boyz II Men on one side, you got Usher on the other side. I'm like, okay, some of these are the same caliber artists. And they're cut from the same ilk, where I'm like, you're not going to embarrass Dallas out there like that. Like, he's going to hold his own for at least half of those rounds. And then it'll start getting ugly.
It's going to get ugly because, again, JD can go into those certain bags. He can go give you that.
He can play 871 and Confessions all day, and I'll just
but again, he can go into a rap bag, and Dallas ain't gonna have that. So JD is just one of those. He is iconic. He is a GOAT in his own right, and not even in his own right. He is a GOAT. So he's been doing it, and you can't. Puff was trying to, talk down like, well, what you gonna do when I play this? Like,
I feel like it's a lot of people from up north in the comment sections, though. I feel like that's the only. I'm from Florida, but at the end of the day, Florida has so much influence from Atlanta. It's right around the corner, and down south, period. So I think people down south respect him, and that's why he deserves the verses, because they were trying him on social media this week.
Yeah, he definitely deserves a verses. So so when we look at this, so when you look at the JD, you look at the Puff, he's in the room. The problem is he just doesn't have that artist that those two guys had.
And he don't have the drama. I mean, he don't have the drama. Like, at the end of the day, everybody that Dre's worked with, they're immortalized because of either the way they died or the way, the beefs that they had. You don't ever hear drama coming out of So Def.
No.
So a lot of his stuff ain't box office, it's bubblegum, but it's like, to me, it's
think about this. Think about this.
And who had the better records on the Crazy Sexy Cool album? Puff produced records on there too, and I don't really rock with his tracks like that.
But think about this: you got Puff, you got Snoop, Tupac, NWA, Eminem and 50. Eminem and 50. Let's stop. We'll stop right there.
Yeah.
What artist is on that caliber that JD had on his label?
He don't.
That's the problem. The biggest person that he will be able to give you is songs that he produced for Usher. Well, songs he produced for.
I'm thinking rap. Yeah. I'm thinking rap. Yeah, you're right. Usher.
Mariah. He produced for Mariah, so he's going to have to play those kind of records. But
and it's not going to really.
Yeah.
And you can't play every Mariah record that he produced during versus battle. It's going to get a little bit too.
Yeah,
porcelain.
Yeah. So, hey man, I'm here for all the drama. Let's go.
Hey man, I'm here. Speaking of drama, we about to get into it. So some other people bought some drama online this past week, last week, and that was Dru Hill, and they called out some people.
That was on Monday, right?
Yeah, and I found out from your text. I was like, I don't know what's going on, and you text me, and then it started catching fire, and everybody peeped. But they called out. Let me know if I missed some names, but Jodeci, Boyz II Men, they said Jagged Edge and 112 could basically combine their catalog, and maybe it'll be a respectable versus. And they were tripping on some of that, but some of it they weren't. Like, and we're about to find out right now. So
they tripping. They're tripping.
Hey man,
they are tripping.
I rock with Dru Hill hard.
Dru
I rock
Hill.
with Dru Hill hard. So let me ask you this: Dru Hill, out of what they said about Jagged Edge and 112 and Dru Hill, who do you have as the better group out of that with the better catalog?
Better catalog. They have a better catalog. They have a better catalog than Jagged Edge. I give them that.
Yeah.
But 112 still has. They have hits, and they have.
I feel you. So does Dru Hill.
That's what I'm saying. So you're talking about if 112 and Dru Hill can go head up, you're talking about add on another group who has they were tripping on that. No one would ever do that. But I do like out of those three, I'm giving the slight edge to that's just my personal preference. I'm giving the slight edge to Dru Hill. And then also, who are they going to match them up with? Because they called out some names. Boyz II Men is out of their territory. I think they're tripping on that. Lead Boyz. Jodeci. Yeah. Let's go back to Boyz II Men. Let's go back to Boyz II Men.
Yeah.
Leave them alone. Because you don't have a song. You don't have an end of the road. You don't have a One Sweet Day. You don't have an I'll Make Love to You. You don't have a
Water Runs Dry.
You have songs, but we're talking about charting to where
you said end of the road. You said hard to say goodbye. You said all that.
Yeah, but we're talking about songs that took down I Will Always Love You.
Yeah.
Because if I'm not mistaken, they hit End of the Road, they hit, I think, I'll Make Love to You in One Sweet Day. All three of them were number one for weeks on weeks on weeks.
Yeah, I remember.
Dru Hill, I love you guys, man. You guys are great. But man, sometimes, man, it's the difference between, Duke University basketball playing against.
Yeah.
It's
different. Yeah, we play at JUCO, but I don't even think Dru Hill believed what they were saying. I think it was just more of a device.
They probably believe it.
I don't think so. Yeah, and not only that, now the way their band is set up now, they don't even have 100% participation from the original members. So you get points out for that.
They had 3 extra people. It was him and Jazz, and 3 people. I don't even know who they were, and they were talking.
Yeah, they
were talking.
Basically. Yeah, they put in 2 more people, but then if the original 4 aren't there, I don't want to hear anything.
Nobody want to
I'll maybe allow Woody to slide because he was always in and out anyway. But now
Nokio has to be there, man. Nokio.
I think Nokio rocking with them because they just recently did something on who was the DJ who DJ'd the Bobby versus Keith Sweat again?
It wasn't Be Nice.
Nah, you know how I'm talking about though, the light skinned dude.
Yeah.
They did some. He does like medleys, and then Nokio.
Oh, it was the guy. He does all the mesh. I can't think his name.
But the three out of the 4 were there, so I was like, okay, they still cool enough to do that. So, but who do they match up well against?
Who hasn't gone yet?
Yeah. Well, you know what? If they allow 112 or Jagged Edge to go again, I think this should be the first versus where they just do 3 groups, where it's like all 3 of them play records.
No, Jagged Edge gonna end up. They're gonna run out.
No, but you could do 10 because it would be extra group. So instead of going to 20,
the boys want 20. I need 20. I want 20.
All right, so
I would have to do. They would definitely have to do like. Honestly, if I don't see Boyz II Men and Jodeci, it's gonna have to be Jodeci and Dru Hill.
I don't.
They're the big brothers, and they are a mirror of that group.
Yep. The sound, the choir sound, whenever they sing their harmonies. So I think that's the best matchup, which is and if you're looking for storylines, both of them have like viral videos of what happened to them while they was at a radio station. Casey and JoJo kind of like not the best when it came to singing live. And then also I remember Woody quit the group live on the radio. So and they're also, like you said, big brother, little brother. I think the best matchup for them would be Jodeci versus Dru Hill.
It'd be the most even. I think it'll be the most even, but man, when Jodeci goes into these bags, man.
Even wise, I think they match up well against Jodeci. I think they match up well against 112. But since 112 and Jagged Edge went already, it's like, okay, Jodeci, I would see that. Now, Boyz II Men, now, did anyone respond?
No, nobody that I know of, nobody responded.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go after, I'll go back and search Twitter and see if anybody responded. But as far as what I know, nobody responded yet.
Hey man, them boys from Boyz II Men be talking noise too. So the fact that they didn't respond, I think they don't respect that. You gotta kind of step it up if you want to go against.
And them boys, man, they probably not even, and I want them to go because and they said, Dru Hill said, and you have to sing. So they want you to come on there singing. They don't want you playing instrumentals. You're like, no, you have to come here and sing. Well, now you're barking up this tree of guys who really do sing.
Yeah, they do, but also Jodeci don't sing well live lately. So I mean,
no, they don't.
Yeah, but I would say
lately, no.
Nah, Dru Hill does sound nice live, but Boyz II Men, they've been singing a cappella at concerts forever. They do that on the regular. They just came out of a Vegas residency a couple years ago.
Sure did.
So
they can sing. I saw them 2 years ago at the
Disney
Disney Food and Wine Festival, and man, the guys sound just like how they sounded on growing up and listening on the radio.
It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday because they never said goodbye. They still sound like they did.
Man, if they can squash the beef with Michael and bring him back for this versus, my God. They go kill him, man.
Taking a seat. I think the producers of versus that would be nice.
Just let them sit down, and if they can squash that, man. I mean, we've seen them be able to get Monica and Brandy in the room. They got Jeezy and Gucci in the room. So
I think the boys I think behind the scene, the boys is petty. Like if you've heard stories already, you've already heard stories. I heard stuff come out of Dallas Austin mouth. I heard stuff come out of Candy's mouth. I heard stuff so I think the boys just might be extra petty, and I don't know if they're going to be able to make up for Michael.
It humbles you when you have to go play a country club and it's only like 4 people there.
That was years ago, and they still been petty.
Yeah, but they're talking about with Candy and with Dallas, they're talking about stuff from their first
prior. You're right.
So they're just rehashing the stories.
Yeah, you're right.
Those guys got humbled very, very quickly.
Yep. If you saw the way they responded to Dallas, though, I think some of that is they still got some pettiness in them, though.
They
but
probably I mean, hey, the truth will come out.
Yeah. All right, so we agreed for the most part on Puff versus Dre, JD versus whoever, and then Dru Hill, their matchups. Let's see if we agree on this. So you kind of get your answer already. Dre, we agree on this because I'm with you. Like, so basically you summarize it. Drake is probably the biggest pop star we have in rap right now. And then they're saying he's getting ready to eclipse the king of pop. So
they're talking about is he or is he now? Not getting ready to.
Yeah.
So okay, so this is me. As big as Drake is right now, I'm just use this era. Rihanna is just as big worldwide. Beyonce is just as big worldwide. Chris Brown is just as big worldwide.
Yeah.
Kanye West is just as big worldwide. So he still has his contemporaries that are just as big. And depending on who you ask, some may be bigger.
And that's the thing. I'm not opposed to because it's the same LeBron versus MJ debate where it's like, I don't mind if your contemporaries are on the same plateau as you, but the thing is, he's not the biggest personality on that. It's Beyonce to me. Like, I feel like she's the only one that's probably given any of those Madonnas of the world, the Princes of the world, or the MJs of the world a run for their money. And for this is the thing, when you leave different spaces, I feel like Drake may be the biggest pop star rapper. I don't know if a lot of people in other genres are really messing with him like that. If I go to a country music concert and I ask them to recite a Drake lyric, I don't necessarily know if he's getting the same love that
it depends on what country artist it is. It depends on which one it is.
Here's the thing.
A Taylor Swift type person, yes. Garth Brooks, no.
This is my So here's my gauge. So I came from a Haitian household. My parents didn't speak a lick of English. So when they could recite Michael Jackson lyrics, that showed me how big he was. Like, as soon as they started singing lyrics, it's like, it's time to change the track. So when I'm old enough to remember, I was living through the era of the You Are Not Alone video single. That was Past, Present, History, Future, whatever.
Yep. History.
And I remember when that video was released, my mom knew the lyrics and she don't speak English. So to me, that's pop. It's like you're hitting with every particular group, or internationally, Haitians rock with you too, Jamaicans rock with you, the Caribbean, Russia, all of that. Drake don't got that. I don't feel like he has that or he's close. Like I feel like Beyonce comes close, but I don't think Drake has that.
Drake has lyrics. Drake has. Now let me back up. Now Drake is very big. He's very, very big.
Yeah,
but
I agree.
But
comparing it to MJ now.
But when you're comparing it to Michael Jackson, you can't compare it because you know how many other people you have to eclipse to get to Michael Jackson. You're skipping over Elvis,
the Beatles,
Madonna, Garth Brooks, who's the highest selling country western artist of all time. Yeah, you still got AC/DC, the Eagles. You have so many other people.
Look at the top selling albums of all time. It's a couple other albums after.
But think about, you're talking about these people have done it for decades. Yeah. Decades. More than one.
And another thing that people bring up is it's more difficult to sell units versus streams. So you understand what I'm saying, right? To physically go into a store and ask for a CD and pull it off of a shelf and to do that 100 million times.
Exactly.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Exactly.
But you have to dominate with the rules that you're given. Streaming is a thing, and I get that. But the one point that you bring up with that I agree, it's like, hey, bro, you're not even eclipsing some of your counterparts. So it's like, before we eclipse MJ, let's do this first. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I do think it's difficult today because there was always some mystery around MJ. Like, I remember I used to read books from the library to find out how he spends his weekends. I remember I learned, he fasts on the weekend and he drinks water and lemon. That's how he stays so fit. And I'm like, I see everything Drake doing on social media. So he does, that mystique and aura of superstardom isn't there. But when they say, when Drake is the biggest pop artist that we have in hip hop, and he's pop. To me, don't say hip hop, say pop, because he is pop. They say MJ is the king of pop, meaning that Eagles, everything you brought up, Eagles, Elvis, all of that, out of that class, he's the king of those by a mile. You see what I'm saying? So I don't agree with the statement, but I do think,
but you still even got like Bob Marley, who people, you know, who he's like the Queen of England, some of you know, one of him. Like, we're talking about like, and I get it, we're living in this era, but he has contemporaries in this era.
But you know what's so funny?
Are then bigger than him.
You know what's so weird? Because I think it's unfair to Drake, because whenever you compare somebody to the past, I feel like it makes their future stagnant. But MJ was getting the same backlash with Elvis, because when the Jackson 5 made Heartbreak Hotel, they called it Heartbreak Hotel, and they had to change the name to This Place Hotel because they were like, he trying to eclipse Elvis, because Elvis had a song called Heartbreak Hotel. So MJ, after Off the Wall, he was already fighting that, is he bigger than Elvis thing. And then Thriller came and he shut that down.
But think about it. Off the Wall, I said, I'm 20 million in off rip. 20 million.
Yeah. So does Drake, all right, let's just talk about the music. Does Drake have a body of work that's even Off the Wall at this point? Like a classic album? If we count it mixed,
the problem is though, when you're trying to put it against, it's kind of like, okay, let's not take that album. Mike has a 4-run album.
Yeah.
Like his 4 albums, even if you throw in the history, which I think that did like 20 million as well, or 15 or whatever. Does he have a bodyguard 4-piece, 5-piece? Like,
To be fair, if we live in an era where it's just trendy music, so it's so disposable.
Absolutely.
But his albums, if we want to be fair and compare apples to apples, the same way MJ dominated and was constantly number one, Drake has dominated and constantly have been number one with his release dates. I just don't feel like they're classics though. Like,
but so has Beyonce.
Yeah, that's why I said
yeah,
he's not doing enough to separate himself from the pack to me, to where it's like, I don't know if we're ready for that comparison yet.
His album dropped. His album.
Who's the second most famous person that ever lived? It's MJ. Like, I mean, if you go to any continent, they've heard about Jesus. Yeah, and it's a strong likelihood they've heard about MJ as well.
His influence, man.
If you're putting yourself in that category, that's where, because they're not even talking about music, they're just talking about popularity. They're saying, has he eclipsed them from stardom? I think I could go to a couple places in America where they don't know Drake like that. Like, there's spots in Wyoming, there's spots in Utah where they're gonna be like, Drake, you know what I mean? They're not gonna know him like that.
We're in the social media stage. We're in a stage of everybody has a cell phone, and you have you have music at, I can pull up Drake's first to his last albums. I can pull up Michael Jackson. So I have the music that I can literally listen to at any point in time whenever I want to listen to it. So what has to happen is, again, we're talking about Michael Jackson chart. I think they said he had a number one song in 4 straight decades.
Yeah.
Right.
And it really 5 if you count Jackson 5.
Well, 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Drake gave it. Right now we're at 10 for him. Mm-hmm. Now he still has 30 more years to go. Are we still going to be saying this about this guy that we're saying about this guy?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Let's start that conversation when we get to year 30, year 25.
Yeah, man, year 20, year 30.
I feel like people 30. Do this. Yeah, it's a polarizing topic. People bring this up just to like start arguments, but I feel like most of the people, it's just you can't make that comparison. It's just unfair to both parties. So I disagree.
Disrespect.
Yeah, man. So I mean, what say you guys? We may be totally off because it could be a generational thing, and maybe I'm showing my cane and my age. But how about this? We talked about a couple things, so now it's time for 2 cents, right? So, Bill, tell them what they need to do. Tell them what they need to do, and
all right, 2 cents. Start with Puff and Dre.
Yeah. Does
Puff
that make
and
sense
JD?
to you guys?
Does that make sense? Does it not make sense?
What names we
left
out?
Maybe. Do you disagree? Names
got a better matchup in mind?
Yeah. Do you have a better matchup? Let us know. Dru Hill. Y'all, you heard what we both said. You're messing with some heavyweights. Yeah. That's what Red Fox told Eddie Murphy and Harlem Nights. All right, quick, you mess with the heavyweight.
It's some people from Baltimore that probably think we tripping. So let us know. Like, hey, they think Dru Hill will slay anybody out there. So let us know down below. And then also the Drake versus MJ. I'm curious because I feel like I'm not a prisoner of the times. I may be a prisoner of the 80s. Who knows? I was born in 86.
It's Michael Jackson.
No,
man. No. The only people who will agree with you are the ones who don't know who Michael Jackson is.
There we go. And there's nobody who does it. There's nobody who doesn't know who he is. That's the problem.
Well, all right, so young kids, but
how about this? Let us know.
Comment section.
And don't try to alienate the crowd. Just be honest and let us know if you think Drake is pulling on his coattails a little bit. And also, do you think it's a possibility that anyone will eclipse MJ? And if so, who? Let us know. So go ahead and comment down below. Just add your 2 cents or whatever, and that'll be awesome. Hey, Bill, anything else they need to do?
Y'all know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell up the top so that you get the firsthand. You'll get it firsthand when we put some new content out. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to please like, comment, and subscribe. Man, we love you guys.
Yeah, I love you. Thank you. And that's all that I got. Thanks. Peace.
Peace.